Hello, gorgeous people. How are you? Today I'm talking about the details, the Anunnaki, and why the emissaries are excited. I'll tell you all about it on the other side. So I was connecting with the emissaries the other day, and they said to me, we're very excited. They didn't say it in that Welsh accent, which I like when they say I'm very excited. They didn't say that. They just said, we're very excited. And I said, so why are you excited? And they said, we're excited because the end is near. Okay? And I said to them, yeah, but what does that even mean? The end is near. Understanding that they don't have a time reference. So for me, it's like, how near is near? 100 years, 200 years, tomorrow, this morning. And what they said was, you've got to understand that this process in which we find ourselves, they said it has a maximum and a minimum time frame. And they explained that we can shorten this time frame. We can bring the end faster, right? Which we've talked about by the way that we resonate, our frequency, our expectations, what we project into the future. We can bring this faster. But there is a maximum time. And what they said is that there's a point where it cannot go any further. It must stop there. So they said, it can only go on for so long. And then those days will pass away. And the new days will come. Okay? But there's a definitive end. So hey, until the definitive end, we've just got to be busying ourselves, haven't we? But knowing, it's like that knowing. I was talking about this, how I'm not worried about the future at all. Just because I know that this is going to come to an end. And I have a feeling that I'm going to see it. I have a feeling that we're going to see it. However, I haven't had a guarantee. I think the emissaries once said that I would see the beginning. That's what they said. Obviously, because the process, when we go into this wonderful time, it's not going to be just a flash in the pan, It's going to be around for a while. And so, longer than my life. So I see the beginning, and that's good enough for me. I'll come back to the middle. I'll come back. Might not come back to the end of it. I think that would be very sad, seeing the fall, the decline. However, I might come back in the middle and just have a little bit of nice time. But then we moved on to the Anunnaki. Right. Let me tell you about my relationship with the Anunnaki. I mean, I don't have a relationship with them. I'm not like, Enel's best buddy or Enki's drinking mate. What I mean is that when I discovered the story of the tablets and the story of the Anunnaki, it resonated so strongly with me that I was kind of enamored, totally taken with it. And I loved the idea of it. I loved the story. And of course, as I read the story, what I could see is that it paralleled so much with the Bible, with the allegory of how we came about. There was tremendous parallels. And so it resonated a lot with me. So I was asking them about the Anunnaki. Did they exist? And if so, are we genetically modified by them? The story of the Tower of Babel, where all the languages were confused. I have a feeling that story is linked to them. Them coming and, mixing us up because we were getting a little bit above our station. We were building a tower that was reaching the heavens. I think that's another, like a metaphor. Could be we were traveling up to the heavens in spaceships or whatever. I don't know. Other dimensions. Goodness knows. Who knows? Who knows? Anyway, the emissary said that the Anunnaki, how did they put it? They said the Anunnaki definitely existed on certain timelines. Okay, what they did say as a disclaimer is they are not equipped to talk about that. That's not their role. But what they said was, understand that probably, definitely the Anunnaki exists and has existed on timelines. But not this one, they said. But not this one. But they definitely form part of this whole journey that we can drop into and drop out of. So I said to them, why have we got this information if they weren't on this timeline? And the emissaries have suggested that this timeline's not as long as we think it is. That's all. But I think the initial, it's like the setup includes all of the timelines. The information's there, the clues are there. But I actually think the timeline that we're on is only a little piece of that whole thing, like chopped up into chunks, and we choose. I mean, I'm probably butchering this scientifically, but like there's a big long timeline from start to finish, and it's all chopped up, and we decide where we want to go. Right? That's in layman's terms, reincarnation 101. However, they said, yes, the Anunnaki existed. And I said to them, why leave all of this stuff? And they said, well, for two reasons. One is that we leave clues. Clues are left so that people can understand that there's more to this than just what we see. So all of that kind of mystery that doesn't make sense, doesn't tie up with anything. And they said also, it's to create a confusion. They said that we come here into confusion with the focus on us actually finding understanding. Okay? And I didn't understand that because I was thinking, well, we're never going to know. I'm going to die, perhaps, and not know any more about the Anunnaki than what I know. And they said, the confusion that we have here is not resolved by us finding out stuff about the past and all of this, the pyramids. They said the confusion is lost, is gone, is remedied when we realize that the details are not important. And they emphasized this massively. The details are not important. We drown in the details. We get caught up in the details. We get messed up in the details. And you can see that in the way that they try and manipulate society and mankind. They give them too many details, too many conflicting details. And what happens? People don't know what to believe. They don't know what to follow. They don't know they don't know what side they should be on because it's all so confusing. Those are the details that we need to get away from. So our focus, our journey here it's a journey within, isn't it? So it's to get away from the details and just understand who we are, what we are, remember where we came from. Once we understand that, the details don't matter. When you hear people who are in the, out-of-body experiences, near-death experiences, they all say the same thing. When they're on the other side, they realize that it doesn't matter. And they see people crying over their body and they're thinking, why are you crying? There's absolutely no need. It's not important. And I think that's where we're going to get to. We're going to get to a point where we realize that it's not important. Nice to know, of course it is, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't take away or add to who we are and what we are. That's all. So yeah, it might make things more interesting. But at the end of the day, our journey is within. It's our journey to understand who we are, not to understand everything around us. There's a saying, you can't know everything. It's physically impossible to know everything, and especially with our limited ability to know the truth. So there you are. Anunnaki, definitely. But hey, don't get hung up on it, and don't worry if you don't know and don't understand everything about it. Don't get tied up in the details either, because the details are messy. And remember that there is a maximum limit to this particular period that we're in, and we're going to reach the end of it, and we are probably all going to see the start of the beginning. So I love you all, and I'll speak to you all later. Bye bye.